Alright guys, welcome in. So these are my top 5 tips for new hikers, new mountaineers, and all this is off my own experience, starting from a new hiker to basically um pretty advanced on climbing mountains. I haven't summited. I mean, I've done some pretty gnarly mountains in India. I haven't summited some of the tallest mountains here in America yet. That's my plan. But this is kind of what you need to know. So you can also kind of apply this to backpacking a little bit. So number one is if you're going alone, if you're hiking alone, which is completely fine, guys. In fact, when you're alone, you're more safe because you're more aware of your surroundings. You're more aware that you could run into predators. And so being alone does help, actually. When you're alone, look, when you're alone, ledges like this, guys, you're very aware that one mistake could send you off the cliff, right? So when you're with a group and you're talking, you're not fully present in your hike, and you could definitely slip and fall. Something major could happen. So this is one of the reasons why it is good to start alone. And if you are doing this alone, make sure that you bring weapons. So bring a pepper spray, mace, or CS tear gas sprays, or bear spray. This is for predators, but this is also for against people, guys. So bear spray, pepper spray. Okay, I'm in their territory, so these black bugs, they get pissed off when you're in their territory, so they try to like hunt you down. I don't like it, but it is what it is. So these weapons, the pepper sprays, it's more for against people. So because people are higher risk than animals. Animals are defensive, so the moment they sense your presence, they'll back off. They're defensive by nature, guys. So unless you really threaten a bear or a snake, the way you get bit by a snake, guys, if you actually step on it or actually somehow threaten it, attack it, it's going to defend itself. So most of the time, I've had experience with a couple snakes now. They do back off. The moment they sense you, they do get a little defensive. If you're very close, I almost got striked by a rattlesnake, but it was more like a warning before striking, and it backed off a little bit. But yeah, the biggest threat is humans, so make sure to bring weapons. So pepper spray and bear spray, and make sure you know how to use them too. Spray it a few times, see how it works, so you know how to use it. If you want to bring a gun, you can. Bring something, loud. You could bring a whistle, an air horn. That'll scare them too. You could bring a knife, a machete. Now, if you're going into, a lot of these trails, guys, are not that maintained. Like, if you're going to maintain trails, you're fine. But if you're going into unmaintained trails like this one, some parts are so extremely overgrown and they're not maintained. So sometimes you got to bring a machete, and you do have to help maintain the trail a bit by cutting the overgrown stuff. And you got to clear the way, because if you're going through overgrown things, there could be snakes, there could be, things that you could step on that you're not aware of. So I'm just catching my breath here. This uphill climb. So that's kind of number one. A few things in that first tip about weapons, tools. Okay, now number 2 is don't get these things right here. These are trekking poles. Do not use trekking poles if you're starting out hiking. You want to hike without them because you want to train your lower body and your feet to how to navigate the path of least friction. So I talked about trekking poles in another video, and you need to get your feet, because your feet have a sort of memory to them. So you need to get your feet, and you got to also use barefoot shoes. So there's a big book about hiking shoes and how bad they are for your feet. You have to use barefoot shoes, and as you can see, they mimic how your feet move. So as you can see, it's like I'm wearing socks basically. This allows you to grip onto rocks and curvy surfaces, but it gives you amazing, because this is how we're supposed to hike, right? It's barefoot. That's how we did it for thousands of years. And so they're amazing for navigating. Okay, so get barefoot shoes. Not these hiking shoes with huge heels and padding and tight on your toes. It's really bad for you. You're gonna face a lot of issues, okay? So prevent that. So on trekking poles, we were saying your feet have memory, you guys. So you need to, at least for a few weeks, okay, hike without poles. Just walk up these mountains, up on these trails without poles, guys. So you can get your feet, once your feet are used to the flow of the path of least resistance, and they're doing this automatically, as you can see. I'm not even, I am vlogging. I can stare at the sky and have no issue, because the way my feet and my mind are trained to be dependent on my lower body, okay, they're not trained to be dependent on poles. And when you do this, you just follow the path of least resistance automatically. Now, going up, going down. Now, poles are good for a few things. Check my other video on poles. They are good for a few things. If you're very steeply going up or down, you can use your poles. So I have my poles here. I don't use them 95% of the time. I don't need them. I don't like them. One sec, sorry about that. They don't help, they actually hurt. They lead you to getting messy, and you stop caring about your footwork, and you can sprain an ankle very easily. That's dangerous. You sprain an ankle on any trail, guys, you're done. You're done, guys. So avoiding ankle sprains. This is why I use barefoot shoes. This is why I don't use poles. Okay? Poles are just terrible for you. They really are. It's the most controversial take in the world, but they really are, guys. We never used poles. We never use poles. Okay, we have hands. We're not a dog. We don't have 4 limbs. So stop acting like a dog with poles, okay? If you want to use poles, you have to use them extremely consciously, only when you actually need them, okay? So as you can see, I'm just walking normally. I'm perfectly fine. Look at how steep this rocky section is, but it's perfectly fine, guys, because my feet are doing all the work. My lower body is fully trained, and I can go up this so easily. So that's why I don't start using poles, okay? That's tip 2. Okay, so tip 3 is use a bladder. So I have here a 3-liter water bladder in my backpack. Okay, you don't need a fancy hiking backpack. I used my old, this is just my old skateboard backpack, any backpack, guys. Stop researching these crazy hiking backpacks you don't need. Use any backpack you have, guys. It's just a fucking backpack. As long as it's reliable, it doesn't break. 3-liter water bladder. You need a lot of water, and as you're walking, you can hydrate. These are so useful. I used to use, like, this is 3 huge water bottles, guys, in my backpack. I used to actually carry 3 huge water bottles, and it's a pain in the ass because you gotta stop, pull the bottle out, drink. It interrupts your hike. So these are amazing to hydrate. And what you can do, this is part of tip number 3, right? Is add in some salt to it. Add some salt and some sugar. You don't need these fancy electrolyte mixes, guys. They're expensive. They're a waste of money because all they have is really salt and sugar, because sea salt and sugar contains all the minerals and essential, basically the vitamins and all that stuff that you lose in sweat. Those two contain all of it. So you can add that into your bladder and it'll rehydrate you a lot quicker than just normal water. Because if you guys are drinking bottled water, if you drink too much bottled water because it's not remineralized properly, you'll start getting a water headache. This is something, let me take a break here, guys. Sorry, did not drink enough. So the water headache, you will get water headache, okay? That's because it's not replenishing your body of the minerals you're losing when you're sweating. The water is just dead water. So let me just take a seat here. You want to basically, what I like is I do have a water filter. You also need a water filter, like a BeFree or a Life Straw or a Sawyer Mini or a Sawyer Squeeze, okay? These are filters that you can drink from a stream or a river or a lake, and it'll be safe for drinking. And essentially, I prefer that water over tap water or bottled water, because that water has a bunch of minerals. It's actually getting from the rocks the water passes over, and it's just a lot more hydrating than bottled water. So I prefer to filter that water and drink it, and then I use my bladder as a backup. So this is kind of just a backup, because if I drink too much of my essentially bottled water, it's reverse osmosis water, which is just stripped of all of its nutrients. If I drink too much of this bladder water, I get a water headache because I don't have proper hydration. So that's why salt and sugar is important. So that brings me to tip number 4, and that is take time. So stop focusing on the objective or the goal of getting to the top or finishing your hike in a certain time. Make sure you get out, that you have plenty of time, plus 1-2 hours you can go over. Plenty of time so you can stop as much as you want on your hike, okay? So you can stop to enjoy the view. As you can see, I can just stop here to film a video, enjoy the view, eat, drink, rest. You have plenty of time on your hikes to to stop and pause and relax. Okay, it's not all about getting to the peak or finishing your hike. It's about enjoying nature as well. So don't forget, guys, because if you're too focused on your objective, your purpose, you miss out on experiencing nature, and that's why you're hiking, right? So you want to enjoy the views, enjoy the hike. So that's tip 4 is don't rush. Okay, don't rush. Take the time you need. If it takes an hour longer, you're fine because you've accommodated for rests and stuff like that. So take breaks as you need, and that's the good thing about being alone when you're hiking. And some people don't realize this is when you're with another person or group, you start getting peer pressured into rushing or catching up to them or following their pace. But it's not your own pace. It's not, it's your, so find your own pace. If you need to go slow, fast sometimes, maybe you feel like, for me, like I feel like running down hills on a lot of hikes because it's the path of least resistance. So a lot easier to run down gravel than to walk down it. Okay, walking downhill puts a lot more strain on my legs and my body than just running and skipping down. So again, that's why I really promote going hiking alone. If you can get over the safety bullshit, like just do it alone. Because you can find your own pace, you can enjoy at your own time, you can stop whenever you want, you can spend as much time as you want at the top of the mountain or whatever. You don't have to succumb to peer pressure. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you're least likely to make mistakes because you're present in your hike. You're fully present. It's like a meditation in some sorts of ways. That's why a lot of people hike alone. Now, you can balance it. Obviously, you can go half and half, sometimes alone, sometimes with people. That's kind of what I do too. You can bring your dog too sometimes. Sometimes you go alone. But it's a different experience ultimately doing it alone. I personally think it's a lot better, 100% better to hike alone. Guys, because you're on your own, you're responsible for yourself. If you fuck up anywhere in your hike, it's your own issue, and that's why you're hyper aware, hyper conscious. It's training, your mind up to be hyper conscious and operating at its highest level. That's what you want. So that's kind of why it is important to do hiking alone. Again, as long as you're accommodating for safety, shouldn't be an issue. If you really need to, you can always get those satellite SOS rescue devices like a Garmin. They can come and rescue you basically anywhere in the world you are. But I don't feel like I need those things. I feel like I'm very responsible for myself on these hikes, and if I do feel myself getting stupid, slipping up, I bring myself back into a hyper conscious state of presence in my hike. Like when you're hiking, make sure you're not in your thinking mind. You don't want to be thinking all the time about just thoughts, okay? Try to minimize thoughts, because if you're just focused in your mind as you're hiking, thinking and thinking and thinking, you're not really focused on what's going on right now, the trail, okay? You're out of the moment, and that's not a good thing. Read this book called The Power of Now. essentially apply those principles to your hike, and you should be good. Treat it more like meditation than a hike or exercise, because if it's just exercise for you, it's not that fun. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a great experience. You're just going to finish your hike and get back to what you're doing after. It's not going to be fun. You know, when hiking is fun, when you can make it fun, it's just a better experience overall. So that's essentially tip number 4, guys. These are tips, but they're like, there's a lot of information in each tip I'm giving out here. Just off all my own experience. And let's go ahead and continue this hike. And sorry it's a long video, but guys, I think a ton of useful information for new hikers or current hikers, avid hikers, whatever. And instead of focusing on me, I just want to put you guys in the experience of the trail itself, as we are hiking up here and continuing here. So I'm going to combine a lot of random things here in tip number 5. So obviously you want to avoid the gravel because it's more slippery. So as you can see, it's slippery. Avoid gravel. I always prefer rocky sections. So these are rocky sections. As you can see, they act as like stairs in a way. So rocks over gravel, okay? Now, food. This is a big one. Food is huge, okay? And you guys really need to listen to this, because people, when you hike, guys, you do get hungry, and your instinct is to eat junk food. So carbs, right? And people, I hate this, guys. This is, again, a very controversial take, but people say you got to replenish with carbs, guys. It's complete bullshit. In my experience, it's complete bullshit. I don't care what the science says. Try this yourself, okay? Because I have tried this, okay? So go on a long hike, you know, a 6-hour hike, and in the middle of your hike, 3 hours in, go ahead and eat something heavy in carbs, like a piece of bread. Yeah, see how the next 3 hours of your hike goes, guys. You're gonna be tired as shit. So never refuel with carbs, guys, at all, okay? What I mean by carbs is shit like crackers. So crackers, breads, you know what carbs are, right? It's basically things with unbleached flour. Avoid that stuff, guys. You're gonna crave that. That's the thing. You're gonna crave that stuff, but you have to avoid it. Instead, you have to eat dry foods. So I'm gonna show you my pack later, but I'll explain it to you. Essentially, dried fruit is amazing. It's gonna refuel you. So I love dates, guys. So this is how it works for me. If I'm tired, 3-4 hours in my hike, and I eat a couple dates, I'm good for another 2 hours. Like, boom, I get a burst of energy. That's what you want from your food on your hike. It's got to be optimal like that. So I carry dates. Dried mangoes are amazing. Things that will give you that burst of energy without the carbs. So no breads, none of this carb stuff. So I also do cashews, guys. Brazil nuts. Cashews are amazing. You want nuts, guys. It's called trail mix for a reason, okay? Chocolate, but make sure it's not the bullshit like M&M's or Hershey's. Real dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is a fucking lifesaver on hikes, guys. Dark chocolate will get you out of any sort of survival situation. If you are absolutely exhausted, you're out of food, and you're out of food, right? Dark chocolate will give you like 12 to 24 hours left to live if you can fucking eat a whole bar of pure dark chocolate, because it contains everything you need to survive. So it won't crash you either. So I consider dark chocolate a miracle food. Everybody does. You know, in South America, that's what they've used to survive and lived on dark chocolate for many years. So fucking bring dark chocolate. If you're going on like a long hike, guys, a week of hiking straight, you're backpacking, you're sleeping in a tent, bring like 5-6 bars of dark chocolate. Make sure you like dark chocolate. Even if you don't like it, you have to eat it, because it's going to replenish so much minerals. It's got everything, guys. Vitamins, protein, iron, carbs. Guys, it's a complete food. So dark chocolate, you'll be fine, guys. If you have no food for a week, all you have is dark chocolate bars, you will actually be completely fine. But bring dark chocolate, bring nuts, bring seeds. Brazil nuts are really good. Don't eat those like granola bars. Granola bars are terrible, guys. Do not eat oat bars. You want to look at dried fruit primarily, dates, almonds, peanuts, cashews, dark chocolate. You can toss in a few pretzels. It's dangerous because they are carbs. You can toss in just a few pretzels, but that's it. And that's your survival food. That will get you. That mix is what I have in my bag right now in a little Ziploc. And that is going to get you. Let me just show you guys, because I don't want to just be a person that talks and doesn't like back it up. I know you guys believe me, but it's like, just want to show you this pack of mine. This food will get me through a whole day without food. So I didn't even eat breakfast, guys. This hike is about 6-7 hours, and I don't bring meals on my hikes. So I'm just gonna show you guys what I have here. So as you can see, I have some Brazil nuts. So I got a dried mango, and that's without any preservatives. It's just straight dried mango. I have a bunch of dates. So I got like 5-6 pitted, not non-pitted dates, guys. Non-pitted because they just contain more nutrients with the seed in it. You just gotta spit it out. I got a tiny bit of pretzels in there and some cashews. So this is survival food. I also have a bar of dark chocolate. So just off this baggie and my bar of dark chocolate, I have 2 full days of food if I need. It's crazy, but that's how optimal you can get with your backpacking diet. You can get optimal, guys. And that's all complete food. So you're not missing anything. You're getting everything. You're getting protein, sugars, carbs. You're getting everything. They're complete foods. You combine like all these complete foods and you're fucking good, guys. So that's the food part of tip 5 is that food tip right there. So don't fuck up, like don't bring pastas. Do not bring fucking pastas, guys. You can eat your pastas and pizzas and shit, man, when you're back home. Do not bring that toxic shit on your hike, because I don't even eat that back home. Like when you get back home, try to eat a salad with some protein. So you're gonna crave that shit after your hike. You're gonna crave pizzas, pastas, carb, breads. You're gonna crave it. So just avoid it. You have to. So that's a big food tip, guys. Nobody talks about that stuff. Nobody. They all eat junk on trails, guys. Now, the diet I've formulated for hiking is also a backpacking diet too. You can definitely backpack on my diet for a week. I haven't tested longer than that. I think you would need to toss in like some freeze dried meals. You would probably need to toss in, yeah, you would definitely need to toss in some freeze dried meals, just to get some diversity in there. If you can bring like some avocados, some fruit, that's good. But don't eat anything else, nothing crazy. You know, make sure you bring your multivitamins. Like I take, I take a vegan multivitamin. It's for vegans, basically. I'm not vegan, but I take it because it has a lot of the stuff I'm deficient in. Like I'm deficient in iron and B12 and D, and it just has all that stuff. And I do feel better. So you need to bring a multivitamins on your hikes too. That's gonna help a lot. People also, eat jerky and stuff. That's good. That's good too, but it's personally very unhealthy in my opinion. Like beef jerky and shit, guys. It's so preserved and gross. Like, yeah, I just can't. Like, why would you eat that shit on your hike when we have better foods? That better fuel sources. And that's what we're talking about when we're hiking is fuel. You don't want to put shitty fuel in your car, do you? No, you don't. You want to put the best fuel in your car for your engine. Your engine here is your heart, it's your brain, it's your body. So fuel it properly and don't fuck around like retards, okay? So, I'm obviously diversifying more so. What I'm making is like these coconut bars. What it is shredded coconut, which you can get at any grocery store. And then it is chocolate and sweetened condensed coconut milk. Chocolate mixed in there. Put it in the freezer, and I have like sick coconut bars. They're kind of like Bounties or Unreals, like the coconut things, dark chocolate coconut bars or whatever. I love that stuff. It's a lot of fuel because coconut got a lot of fat, carb. It's really good, guys. So coconut, incorporating that on my diet, my hiking diets now. Also, part of tip number 5 is bring a solar panel charger. So I don't have it with me on this one because my phone is full. But on longer hikes, charge using the sun. You can get these on Amazon or eBay. There's these 28 watt, like these tiny foldable solar panels that have a USB plug, and you can attach it to the back of your backpack. So it's hanging with the solar panels on your hike. And I've done this already. It actually keeps my phone completely full the whole hike. So you don't need those clunky battery packs. If there's sun out, you can charge your phones and your devices off the solar panel. The portable batteries are good too, but I just think about it like this: once your portable battery runs out, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, what then? So that's why solar panel is just in a survival situation, a solar panel is just way better, for charging your devices. But you can bring both or just one. I just bring one. If I check the weather, I know it's sunny, I just bring my solar panel. Okay, what else do I have for you? So, don't eat breakfast. If you're waking up early, going on a hike, don't eat breakfast. Don't. That is a detriment. That is fucking death. If you eat breakfast before your hike, you're fucked. You're compromising yourself and your energy. because during your hike, your body's working to digest all that food. It's a mistake. Do not do it, guys. If you want to eat breakfast, eat lightly. My breakfast is pretty light, guys. If I'm doing an intense hike, it's very light because I know I have my food here prepared. If I do get hungry on my hike, I will eat like a date or something, okay? Because I'm just looking to refuel at moments I need to refuel. I don't need meals, okay? So this 3 meal a day thing, it's like, guys, it's a program. You don't need 3 meals a day. I eat like 1 meal a day, maybe 2. 2 meals I eat, and I'll snack sometimes. But if I'm hiking, I'm eating 1 meal a day. In the morning, I'll just have like 2 little things of chocolate, and that's it. And a Celsius or an energy drink. Guys, that's it. That's all you need. You don't want to completely break your fast, right? It's called break fast. Break fast. Don't break your fast then. If you're hiking, you want to be in a fasted state. That's the most optimal, and there's so much research about that. When you're in a fasted state, you're at your highest energy. Look at me. Do you think I would be talking like this? No, I wouldn't be talking like this. I wouldn't have this energy if I ate breakfast, guys. I would be sloppy on my hike, tired on my hike. Okay, I've tried it. So don't do it. You can eat your breakfast on your hike as you go, as you using the kind of foods I recommended. As you go, you won't be hungry and you won't need breakfast, okay? So your main meal will be after you're done hiking. That will be your main meal. So make sure you have food prepared, because you're going to be starving when you get back. Make sure you have food prepared. So at that point, you can eat whatever you want. You can eat a huge meal, okay, after you're done hiking. So what else? I'm almost at the top here. It's a mountain. If you can bring like fruit smoothies too, that's great. I just need a bottle where I can carry like a bunch of fruit smoothie in, but that would be amazing. If you have a blender with frozen fruit, that would really help, guys. But other than that, all these tips I gave you, you're pretty much ready to start backpacking. So these are kind of like overlaid with backpacking tips. So pretty much most of the stuff I said applies to backpackers. Backpacking. The only thing I don't have a tent in my backpack. That's the only thing I'm missing. So in order to start backpacking, you need like a tent, like a Nemo. You need a sleeping pad, and that's pretty much all I'm missing. Maybe a headlamp. So like, I'm ready to start backpacking. All I need basically is a tent and a sleeping mat, right? So everything else I said applies to even if you want to transition into backpacking, because that's what I'm doing too. So I'm already transitioning to backpacking, because as I take on longer hikes, I need to sleep overnight on these hikes. So I do need some of those items like a tent. But yeah, the setup I gave you is you can transition to a backpacker from. It's pretty good. That's what I'm doing, and I'll probably get more and more advanced in it too. But guys, that's all the tips that I could pass on to you. It is insane. Just make sure you like the video and subscribe, because that was a lot of information. I'll give you guys more as I progress in this hiking backpacking journey. So that's it. Peace, guys.